wants to know this, whether we want to talk about it or not. We probably ought to. And then we'll run through the rest of this behind-the-scenes names list, and we'll get out of here. Victory Road, 2011, the Jeff Hardy story. Kind of curious through what happens. Did you see Jeff earlier in the day?
I did. I saw Jeff earlier in the day. I saw Jeff about 7 o'clock that night.
So about the time the pay-per-view started?
Yeah.
So where are you sitting for this pay-per-view?
I was all over. I mean, I wasn't sitting anywhere. I kind of was all over.
So you're not just working stuff. The gorilla position?
No. For that one, I was producing backstage stuff and interviews and kind of all over.
Does everybody in the wrestling business call the gorilla position the gorilla position?
No, in TNA, they called it the go position. You know, you can get Cock-a-Doodle-Doo on your other show that you do, and you can ask him all these questions.
He named it the go position?
I guess.
Okay.
I think it was a holdover from
So you're all
WCW.
over here in 2011 for Victory Road. Bischoff's a part of the show.
Correct.
Vince Russo is here for the show.
Correct.
The main event is Sting. He's going to be challenging for the world title with Jeff Hardy in the main event. And you see him 2.5 hours prior to, and he's fine. Matt Hardy's on this show. He works a couple matches before Jeff. When do you first realize, Houston, we have a problem?
When Jeff's music started and they're yelling for Jeff, and Jeff wasn't there. And I left the area of the gorilla position there where I'd been standing to go try and find Jeff. And when I went outside...
Nobody had smartened you up at that point?
Smartened me up to what?
That Jeff's fucked up.
Nobody knew Jeff was fucked up at that point.
Okay.
So I go outside and I see two guys carrying Jeff. His feet are literally dragging the ground.
Who are the guys?
Bruno and Tilly, two guys that work there.
Okay. And so they're just trying
Bruno and Tilly, underrated. Great guys, busted their ass. I got to give them a shout out because they're two good guys. And Jeff was out of it. Jeff was under the influence of something.
Yeah.
And he was out of it. And they got Jeff to the gorilla position, and while we're sitting there talking about he's in no shape to go out there, he just walked out.
He just walks right past you?
Well, he didn't walk, not like right in front of us, but we were standing there, and next thing you know, I'm looking on the monitor and go, oh, my God, he's out.
How does that happen?
Okay, you and I are talking.
Yeah.
Okay, he walks right by and just goes. You don't think he's going to go out, but he did.
So nobody thought it was necessary to, like, take him by the hand and sit him down. They just thought, hey, he knows he's
we didn't think he was capable of getting up the stairs.
He's Weekend at Bernie's almost.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now he's meandering down the ramp.
Yeah.
You have to be shitting bricks.
Yeah.
And so you're seeing the monitor. You're standing with Bischoff and who else?
Eric was there. Sting was there. We got Dixie there, just saying, hey, you know,
Where's she normally watch the show?
I don't know. She likes to watch out in the crowd.
But she's back for this.
Well, yeah, we got her back there for that. I said, hey, he can't. Well, you know, he'll be all right.
What's Russo saying?
Well, Russo was in the truck. So I ran out to the truck to tell Russo what was going on because I didn't want to talk about it over the headsets. So I went out and I said, man,
even though it was apparent, but you still wanted to respect a little bit of privacy. Or just not just hear the dirty laundry.
Right, not, go get on a podcast and talk about all this shit. So we came back and Eric and I discussed. We said, well, he can't work a match, and it was unprofessional, it was uncalled for, and we talked to Sting and said, need you to go out there and just beat him. Just go out.
Scale of 1 to 10, how pissed off is Sting?
Sting was pissed. Sting was about a 108 on a scale of 1 to 10 at that point. And
is he screaming and cussing mad?
No, he doesn't scream and cuss. He was seething. He was mad inside where it counts.
It was apparent.
Yeah. And I said, you just need to go out there and get him down, pin him, tell the ref count 3. We had Eric go out and actually try to tell Jeff, hey, we're going to beat you. Just lay down and let's get out of this.
Bischoff goes out.
Yeah, Bischoff went out.
And says, hey,
he cut a promo, and then he put the microphone down and went over and told Jeff, told Sting, and that's what we're going to do.
And it was like a minute, and he pins him.
And he pinned him. And
was there any
Jeff
thought to, hey, we really screwed the fans here on the main event. We need to send somebody else out there and have another match after. I realized you still had to deliver that, but it was horseshit. So Was there any thought like, man, let's send Matt Hardy out or let's send Van Dam out or something?
At that point, it was more of a shock and let's get the fuck out of it. Cut our losses. There wasn't anybody right there to send out.
Yeah.
And
a lot of guys may not realize this, but it's not like people imagine. When your match is over, you go get your shit and you leave the building.
yeah. And, it was unfortunate. And Jeff left right after that. And
Wait, hang on. What do you say to him after the match?
I didn't say anything to him.
What did Bischoff say?
Bischoff did. He left. Jeff kind of like just disappeared. I don't know if he went off the side or whatever, but no one saw him when he came back, and he disappeared. But Terry Taylor was in charge of talent relations at that time. And then...
Well, that's not this isn't his fault.
Hang on.
Okay.
Can I finish my story?
Yeah.
So when I came in and took over talent relations and Terry unceremonially had left, they asked me, I said, what are you going to do about Jeff Hardy? I said, well, first of all, tell me what was done about Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, that's a fair question.
They said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, is he suspended? Is he, what was the fine? When's he coming back? What are we doing here? I said, well, I don't know.
They did nothing?
No one ever talked to him. He left that night, and allegedly no one ever talked to him.
How long ago? I mean, how much time passes?
At this point, probably about 4 weeks.
So they've been sending him checks every week for a month.
Oh, I'm sure they didn't miss his.
But nobody talked to him.
Nobody talked to him.
This is the ostrich analogy you started talking about at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
So
I had to be the shit heel and call him and say, hey, man, it's unprofessional and put us in a shitty position, put you in a shitty position, and we're going to have to suspend you until you can get some help. So the idea was for him to get some counseling, get some help, and when he was right, bring him back. And he did that. He was going through some tough shit at the time. He did that. He got it cleaned up, and I never saw him even remotely to where you could think, well, I wonder if he's had a drink or something like that. Not once. And got his shit straight. Came back, apologized to the locker room. Everybody accepted it. And was a model citizen. And now has reinvented himself, and he and his brother both are reinvented and relevant again.
Yeah, and it's important to say here, we're not burying Jeff Hardy. It's really a positive story. He had a lot of challenges.
It's a success story.
Absolutely. He had a lot of challenges in his life. In 2011, he has an arrest, and he, worked through that, worked through this, and now seemingly on the other side and doing real well. So it's a success story. And he got he's still very beloved by all the guys. I don't know anybody who dislikes Jeff Hardy.
Nope.
He is here in TNA.
Jeff Hardy's here?
Well, we're not in TNA.
Oh yeah, thank God.
We don't have a tax lane either. He's here in TNA.
And I've got insurance. So.
Roll Tide. Let's just call it like it is. He was one of the most over talents in WWE. And he winds up in TNA for a reason similar to the one that Kurt Angle's here for. You're head of talent relations. Y'all just don't drug test shit down there. Am I right?
They drug test people. No, they did drug test people.
Well, how does that work? How do these guys who are super over and stars and needle movers in both places, and specifically we're saying Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy, can't make it work in WWE, no problem in TNA?
Well, the drug tests were for the athletic commissions in the different states, like I want to say Washington State or Oregon, and the states that had them, so they had to do a drug test. And at the first of the year, they would come in, do physicals, do drug tests, and send them out.
But that's it.
That's it.
How'd you feel?
If there was reason to suspect someone was on drugs, and we'd do a drug test.
How many times do you remember doing that? Freestyle that in TNA?
I know I did it at least 3 times.
Same guy?
No.
3 different guys?
2 different guys.
Okay. and the idea was you didn't feel like they were safe. You felt like they were a hazard to other people. What was the motivation? What gets you to say, "Oh, we got to drug test that guy," just to catch him? I got
God, no. Well, no, I mean that's a horrible,
That's silly.
that's a horrible reason to
No,
do
I
that.
agree.
If someone is impaired, you don't want them out there potentially to hurt someone else and hurt themselves.
So rather than just look at them and do the eye test and say, "Hey, you're fucked up, you can't go," instead you just say, "Hey, need you to do me a favor."
I did both.
Okay.
I gave them an opportunity to tell me.
And if they said no, then you followed up with, "Here it
Okay,
is."
great, cool, man.
Then you got no problem doing this.
Because there's a feeling here, and I'm one of them that feel that you're not right. So I'm going to need you to put this in here so that I can then take it away from everybody that thinks you might be a little fucked up right now.
Wow. That's a real way to pitch it.
But then if they balk at having a piss in the bottle, then you have your doubts. Or they take it right then and go do their business and hand it back to you, and it's clean, and you go, okay, man, something's not right. We got to fix it. But if they, come back and they're dirty, so you had your chance. You could have told me.
So this is like one of those GNC tests that you just do right then?
No, it was with the facility. I believe it was Aegis or something like that.
How'd you turn it so fast?
In Orlando? You didn't. You had to give it to them. You didn't get the result back for like a day or two.
Okay.
But I wouldn't let them work if there was suspicion.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. But you still paid them. I mean, they're innocent until proven guilty. Right?
They are.
Is
Just for the record, they were all guilty. But
Sure, I have no doubt.